Hi, I'm Fisler. Welcome to my studio. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is a handy little tip that I did once when I was plein air painting, and I actually find it very useful even in my studio. One of the things that I did was just stand outside one day and paint every color of green that I could see in front of me. And in Ohio, this was in the spring, and in Ohio, green is a pretty prevalent color here. We have a number of different color greens. So I just took a really cheap canvas board, put out the limited palette that I usually paint with: blue, yellow, red, white, some grays. I can quickly make mud out of all three of those colors, so I wasn't too worried about that. But what I wanted to do was just focus on how many different color greens I could mix. And if I did see those greens out in the yard. And one of the things that was really handy about doing this is I could walk up to that particular bush or that particular color green that I'm trying to mix and just hold that brush right next to it, or the palette, the mixing palette that I had, and that palette knife, and just hold that right up there and see how close I was getting, in sunlight and shade. All those different values, all those different colors of green, green foliage. Everybody knows that's just so much fun to paint. So then I just put the canvas panel, just regular old, ugly old canvas panel. This one is a Frederick's, on my canvas, on my post-shop box, and started to mix paint. And when I was done mixing the color of paint, I put a block of it on the palette, or on the canvas panel. So this is what that looks like. This is a day, a couple hours, just spent standing outside mixing colors, mixing greens, and this has just come in so handy. I don't know if you can actually see the colors there. Maybe if I put it up real close, you can see all the different colors, all the different shadows. And I kind of went away. There's some blues and there's some browns. But basically, again, just looking at the colors that were out in front of me and trying to mix them up, and then pushing them a little bit further and a little bit further until I got to the point where it was just, really, really muddy. But like I said, this comes in very, very handy to make yourself one of these. You can then put this in your studio. You have all kind of green color notes that you saw outside. If you're working off of a photograph, you can then take, and match up which color that you think from your time that you were outside, from your memory. And when you're painting outside, that color may not be what that color is in the photograph. It may be more towards this color or this color. So this little path basically stays up in my studio, just kind of off to the side. And when I start tripping over what color greens do I want, I pull this guy out and I start looking at it, and I start remembering. And then I have little helpful hints of what I mixed, to do that. Like, this was a couple colors here, so these were colors here. So, it's just, and this one was, pretty quickly put together. Now I actually say, okay, I mark down on a separate piece of paper, I use this much blue and to this much yellow, and I use a little bit of Portland gray or a little bit of a red to get it to tone down into a more grayish green or whatever. But anyway, little handy tip: do this. Stand outside, mix the colors that you're seeing, put it on a board for reference in the middle of winter when you want to paint that spring scene and there's no greens to look at. Okay? Have fun. Keep painting. Bye.